Hi, Leanne Donahue-Tamplin here. Wanted to talk to you today a little bit about how to recover if you've experienced sexual harassment. There's a lot in the media at the moment, and a lot of women go through this experience, whether it be at work or when you're out at a club or just in your personal life generally. This experience of someone inappropriately touching you or taking that much further and really more severely harassing you, but even just making you feel uncomfortable and unsafe, all kind of constitutes what sexual harassment might be. So if something like that happens to you, what I want you to start with is telling yourself that it's not your fault. You need to know for sure that you didn't cause this in any way. It's nothing you wore, not because you were drinking, or that you acted even flirtatious, or that someone took something you said the wrong way. It is not your fault. To go beyond that level and for a guy to think it's okay to go beyond that level without checking that out with you is his fault entirely, right? Quite often women feel like they can't stop it as well when it starts, that they freeze in and are unable to speak out, and so that's really tricky as well. Or they may not be able to stop it because of the pressures in their workplace, or the environment they're in makes it very difficult for them to stand up and be heard at the time. So there's a lot of reasons why it's hard to try and stop it at the time, and so again, that's not your fault. The other thing I think that's really important in terms of recovering from sexual harassment is to speak out about it, right? So you don't have to, you have to weigh up the situation you're in and decide if speaking out about it in a formal way is the best way forward for you. So, you may want to press charges legally. You may want to go to your HR department or your manager and kind of pursue support within the organisation where there are repercussions for the person who harassed you. You may feel that those things aren't the best strategies for you, and that's absolutely fine. Only you know the best way to take this forward. But speaking out can also mean talking to friends. It could mean talking to a psychologist or other health professional that you feel comfortable talking to. Social workers do great work in this area, so they're a really good resource as well. So you may be able to just go to a sexual assault service or another type of community service where you can get access someone who can get access to someone who can give you some help and support. You may be able to ring one of the free phone numbers like the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault hotline. Don't feel like because it wasn't something more severe that you shouldn't ring those services. They absolutely are available to you. And I think the quicker you start talking about it, the easier it is to start working out what's my next step. What should I do now? How do I recover from this? A really important thing that can be rattled is listening to your gut. So when you're harassed sexually and you feel a little bit not yourself, like it's tricky to know what's right for you and what isn't. It's hard to make decisions sometimes when you're in that space. So one thing I recommend to a lot of women that I work with is to really practice listening to that gut feeling of yours and get back in touch with yourself. And it might even just be small things like, what do I feel like eating at the moment? Do I feel like sleeping? Or do I want to do something? Really paying attention to your own physical needs, as well as do I want to go out? Do I want to go see friends? What's right for me at the moment? Just tune into that and then respond to it, react to it, and do whatever your gut is telling you to do. So you reconnect or get more in tune with that when it's been rattled by this harassment. Another really important part is to feel safe. So whatever you need to do to restore your sense of safety is critical. You know, some people, that's the clothes they wear. I heard a woman say that she was sexually harassed on a plane trip, and she'd been wearing a skirt, and a guy tried to put his hand up her skirt, and she has not worn a skirt when traveling on a plane ever since. So it may be the clothing that you wear. You know, it's not that it invited the sexual harassment, because it did not, but maybe you feel safer for a period of time wearing something maybe less revealing, or that makes you feel more, just makes you feel more safe. It might not be about clothing, it might be about your house and the security you have on your house. It might be the way you travel. You might drive instead of walking. You do whatever you need to do to feel safe and secure, because that's really important when that's been, you know, I guess, challenged in some way. Now, the thing is about something like this is it may play on your mind for an extended period of time. It may be something you dream about or just think about quite a bit, and wonder, what could I have done differently? How could I have, what if I'd done this instead? What if I'd gone that way instead of this way? I wasn't going to go in that day, why did I? A lot of those what if questions, and could I go back and you know, do it again so that this doesn't happen and it doesn't affect me? Can't. So the past has happened. There is nothing you can do to change that. Your focus needs to be on the present. So what do I do right now today to feel safer, to stop blaming myself, to protect myself, and stop looking at the past and how can I go back and fix it? It's not going to happen. And finally, I think as women, whether you've experienced sexual harassment yourself or not, we just need to back each other up. We just need to protect one another, listen to one another, support one another, believe one another, not judge one another, and really walk beside one another. There will always be, in any you know, I guess, issue that gets attention in the media, there will always be people who are extending a story or, you know, manipulating a situation. But 99% of people who are talking about sexual harassment are not doing that. So we need to come from a place of believing them, supporting them, encouraging them, listening, no matter what. The ones, whenever there's a person who's misused that trust or manipulated the system, that will become obvious. It's not your responsibility to do that. But unify with other women, stand together and listen to one another and believe one another and not blame one another is critical. Okay, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you again soon.